Estamos en esta ocasión con Jeff Foster. Buenos días, Jeff. Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning. Hola.
Muchas gracias por atender esta entrevista. Thank you very much for this interview.
My pleasure.
Jeff Foster estudió astrofísica en la Universidad de Cambridge hasta que le sobrevino una enfermedad y una depresión que le llevaron a hacer un camino de búsqueda, un camino espiritual, con el que acabó siendo consciente de la no dualidad de las cosas. Desde ese momento viaja por el mundo impartiendo charlas y seminarios, ayudando a la gente a conectar con el presente. La primera pregunta que quiero hacerte, Jeff, es en relación con el título del libro, Enamórate del lugar en que estás. Este lugar, ¿estamos hablando de un lugar físico? ¿Estamos hablando tal vez de un estado interior?
So, falling in love simply means remembering your own presence. That's what falling in love is. Reconnecting with yourself, feeling your feet on the ground, remembering the breath, noticing your thoughts, noticing all the sounds of this moment, feeling your feelings. It's really about reconnecting with this sense of being alive. You know, reconnecting with what's alive right here, right now. You know, in this present moment, which, as I say so many times in the book, this present moment really is, it's all there is. It's all we have. This is the place where we touch life and we can connect with each other, and we can connect with the ground, and connect with the body, and connect with the breath, and connect with even connect with our feelings of disconnection, even connect with our feelings of pain or loneliness or frustration, and excitement and bliss and joy. And again, as I say many times in the book, somehow it's all sacred. It's really about seeing whatever is happening in your life, whatever is happening in the present moment, somehow coming to realize it's not a mistake, that this moment is not working against you, and that ultimately deep down there's nothing wrong with you. I think that's something that so many people on this planet feel right now, that deep down there's something wrong with them. You know, that if they're feeling sad, or they're feeling angry, or they're feeling some doubt or some fear, you know, we immediately think that there's something wrong with us, because we've really been taught to be afraid of our thoughts and feelings. And so really what I share, what I teach, what I talk about is really ending the war with life, which means ending the war with the present moment, ending the war with ourselves, ending the war with our thoughts and our feelings, and coming to see that every thought, every feeling, every sensation is it's lovable. It's part of us. It's not a mistake. So in a way, yeah, where you are, and this is why in the end it's hard to put into words. You know, you're always here. That's where you are. Mm-hmm. You're always here, no matter where you are physically in the world, no matter what's going on around you, no matter what country you're in, or how old you are, or your physical appearance. You're always here. And so that's really what this book is about, is inviting people back to that sense of being here. It's very simple teaching, really.
El estado de presente, de estar en el presente, ¿es algo que puede conseguirse de un modo sostenido? ¿Podemos sostenernos en el presente de continuo en lugar de solo por breves momentos, por ejemplo, durante una meditación?
Well, the good news is there's no such thing as continuously. There's no such thing as always. There's no such thing as continuously. There's only now. I think the mind is kind of amazing, you know. Actually, all we have is the present moment. You're always in the present moment. You're always in presence. In the deepest sense, you are presence. So in the deepest sense, you can't actually lose presence or be far from presence. You are presence. But it's amazing. The mind will turn anything into a goal. The mind loves its goals, somewhere to reach, a destination. The mind always thinks in terms of destination. So the mind will even take this idea of the present moment or presence and make it into a goal. Or how do I get to presence? Or how can I be in presence all the time, permanently, continuously? Then that becomes just another struggle to reach presence, to be in presence. The truth is, in reality, you can't be in the present moment or out of the present moment. If you think about it, even if you were out of the present moment, that would be happening in the present moment. In the present moment, you would experience yourself as being out of the present moment. But that would be happening now. Even if you were out of the now, if that was possible, that would be happening now. Now, you would feel that think or feel that you were out of the now, but that would be happening now. So really, you can't escape the now. You can't reach it. Technically, you can't even be in the now or out of the now. In the deeper sense, you are now. You are presence. So you can't be in or out of yourself. Mm-hmm. Because where would you go? If you were out of yourself, where would you go? There would have to be two of you. If you were out of yourself, there would have to be two of you. One in yourself and one out of yourself. So there can't be two of you. There's only one. You are one. You are presence. You are now. So then that question, how can I be permanently in the now? It's a beautiful question, but in a way it's the mind's question too. It's already made it into a goal. Mm. So you can't be in the now or out the now. You are the now.
De cualquier modo, estar en la no dualidad es una experiencia especial que nos ocurre tal vez una vez en la vida y determina todo el resto de nuestra vida. No es una experiencia más, ¿no? Es algo que te transforma la vida.
So, I'm not sure this is what you mean, but I'm not talking about a special experience that you can have. I'm not talking about a special state or a special experience, or I'm not talking about a state that some people are in and some people aren't. I think that's the old vision. That's the old myth of enlightenment, is that it's a special state or a special experience that some people are in and some people are not in, or some people have, some people don't. That there are these special enlightened gurus that maybe one day we can become like them. I think that's the old myth of enlightenment, that the light is far away, that it's a question of reaching the light. So this really reframes that whole thing. This is like a different paradigm, that the light or enlightenment is not a place that you reach. It's the light is what you are, the light of presence, the light of awareness, the light of being, the light of life itself. I mean, at this point, there's so many words. There's so many words. Presence, being, consciousness, awareness, life, who I truly am. I think it's important not to get too caught up with the words, although the book is full of words. But a book without words would be a strange thing. Mm-hmm. So we like words as well. But the important thing to remember is it's not about the words. So this is not about seeking a special state or a special experience. This is really about embracing the experience that you're actually having now, the state that you're actually in now. It's about becoming more intimate with your present experience, not seeking a different experience, which in a way is what we're always doing. And that really goes to the root of so much of our suffering and our anxiety, even our depression. That's why I was depressed for most of my life, and in the end wanted to die, because I was always trying to escape myself, always trying to escape my present experience, always trying to seek, reach, attain a different experience. And even at some point I thought I had to attain enlightenment, so I was always running away. So this is an invitation, this book is an invitation to no longer run away, and to really begin to meet our present experience. We're not trying to have a perfect experience. We're not trying to reach an altered state, but to become curious again with where we are. This present scene in the movie of our lives. What's alive here? To become like Jesus said, to become like little children again, and then we'll enter the kingdom of heaven with these wide open, curious, innocent eyes, meeting this moment, this present experience for the first time. This without all the preconceived answers. Without, it's like dropping everything you know, and starting again. What's alive? What's alive where I am? And even if right now I feel sad, or I feel like I'm in pain, or there's a part of me that aches, instead of trying to rush towards a different experience, instead of trying to get rid of these parts of ourselves, beginning to meet these parts of ourselves with an attitude of acceptance and love, and it's a very simple teaching. But I think it's very different from the old teachings of enlightenment, which was all about trying to get somewhere, trying to seek enlightenment, or waiting for enlightenment, or waiting for the guru to transmit. You are the light, in a sense. Who you truly are is already the light. You are already enlightened. You are the light that never goes out, the light that shines upon this moment, the light that illuminates this present scene, the light that shines on the breath as it rises and falls, that shines on every thought, that even shines on pain and fear and loneliness. And it's unconditional love, really. But it's who we are. We're no longer seeking love, but discovering it within ourselves. So it is a paradox, in a sense, through no longer trying to fix ourselves or change ourselves or heal ourselves or transform ourselves, we do begin to transform. So it's a real paradox. It's a real paradox.
En tu caso, ¿cómo fue el tema? ¿Estabas tal vez en una depresión? ¿Estabas en una crisis profunda y ocurrió algo, o pensaste algo, o tuviste una determinada actitud que te permitió salir de ahí? ¿O cómo fue ese instante que pasases a estar conscientemente en el presente?
Well, for me, I reached this point where I was just, I mean, to be honest, I was exhausted from seeking, from always striving to get somewhere. I was exhausted from the war with myself, exhausted from trying so hard all the time, trying to be happy, trying to be at peace, trying to be joyful, even trying to be awakened. The mind had even taken that on as a new game, trying to be awakened, trying to be enlightened, trying to lose the self, trying to transcend, trying. Always trying to get somewhere, and in the end, I didn't even know where I was trying to get to. I just knew I had to get there. I just knew that this moment wasn't home. I was always seeking home, you know, and it just became just too exhausting. I was burnt out. I was exhausted. I was fed up and felt like a complete failure, completely worthless, you know. And you know, I just reached this point where I'll never become enlightened. I don't even know what enlightenment is anymore. I doubted all the teachings I had ever read, you know, because they were all memories. They were all secondhand in a way, all other people's words. I just got this point. I was just sick to death of other people's words, other people's teachings, and telling me how I should be, how I should feel, which state I should be in, which state I shouldn't be in, which thoughts I should have, which aren't. So at this place of complete exhaustion, crisis, breakdown, this other possibility came through, you know. I think I'd always been waiting for some kind of big experience. I'd been waiting for some kind of shift, waiting for some kind of I'd always been waiting. I spent my whole life waiting. And I think something inside me was just like, I'm not waiting anymore. It's a very simple way of saying it.
¿Crees que es posible hacer este cambio sin llegar a este agotamiento y a esta crisis profunda? ¿O solamente tomando una decisión podríamos entrar como ahí?
Well, the truth is we are all this already. I mean, what I am is what you are, is what he is what she is. You know, underneath our thoughts, our feelings, our stories, our histories, our nationalities, our beliefs, our religions, the color of our skin, the color of our hair, and underneath all of that, all the games we play, the masks, the roles, we are already, all of us are already the same presence, the same consciousness, the same ocean, seemingly different separate waves, but underneath we're all the same ocean of consciousness. So in that sense, no one becomes this, no one reaches this. We are all already this. Not all of us always remember. I think it's a question of remembering. It's not a question of becoming. It's a question of remembering who you are, not becoming, but remembering. I think that's a really important distinction. It's not something that will happen. It's not something that happens. It's more like a remembering of what is already happening. So it's a really important distinction. Already. So, of course, many people that I meet, many people watching this interview will have gone through or will be going through some kind of crisis. Some people like me reach a point of just extreme breakdown and depression and wanting to die, complete disillusionment with the world, disillusionment with all the promises I've been made, disillusionment with all the teachings of enlightenment, complete disillusionment. So my story was quite extreme. My suffering had been so extreme. Not everyone has to go through some big breakdown, some huge dark night of the soul. Many people do. I think everyone suffers to an extent, though. I've never met anyone who hasn't suffered to an extent and hasn't felt some stress or depression, anxiety, or who hasn't come to question. I think life in so many different ways, big ways and in small ways, brings us to this question, who am I? Mm-hmm. So I think in the end, whether we go through a huge breakdown or we just get to this point where nothing really makes sense anymore, and I just feel something's missing. I work hard. I have enough money. I've done all these things that were supposed to make me happy, and yet something strange, something's missing. I think it's a very precious time when you begin to become a little bit disillusioned with your life. I think that's wonderful. Mm-hmm. I love it when people become disillusioned with their lives, because that can really be the beginning of being drawn into this sacred question: who am I? On the deepest level, who am I? Am I who I thought I was? Am I my job? Am I my bank account? Am I the certificates on my wall? My worldly successes or failures? Is that who I really am? So I think through crisis, big or small, we're all eventually drawn to this question: who am I? Who am I? What's my true nature? And what's the true source of happiness? That's really the question. The question, who am I, is really the same question. What's the true source of happiness? Does happiness come from outside of me? Does love as well? Does love come from outside of me? Is it something that I have to strive for, work hard for, beg for? Do I have to deserve it? Am I worth it? Does happiness come from outside? Or, and this is where this teaching comes in, is happiness something that's actually more deeply rooted in presence? Is that the true source of happiness, our own presence, our own sense of being alive?
Hay una idea que se repite mucho en el libro, tal vez podríamos considerar que es su eje vertebrador, que es como en el fondo todo está bien. Me gustaría preguntarte si estarías de acuerdo como en decir que esta es como la idea principal o el hilo conductor del libro.
Everything is okay. Sometimes, in certain moments, you feel that everything is not okay. That's okay. That's really important to say as well. Everything is okay, but sometimes the moment doesn't feel okay. You feel not okay. And it's about making room for those feelings as well, even the feelings that this, this is not okay. Feelings of resistance and frustration, and even like a sense of not wanting this moment to be as it is. I'm saying on a deeper level, even those feelings, those thoughts and those feelings are okay. So it's this deeper sense of okay. It's not about believing that everything's okay, because you can believe everything's okay and actually feel that everything's not okay, and you're just lying to yourself. So it's this deeper sense of okay that, again, basically it's another way of talking about presence. This deeper sense of safety, this deeper sense of okay, this deeper acceptance. It's not about trying to accept this moment or trying to get rid of non-acceptance. It's this deeper acceptance in which even a thought, a feeling of non-acceptance, of resistance, is allowed, is held, is also lovable. There's also enough space in this moment for a feeling of not okay, for a feeling of resistance. So it's okay even when it's not okay.
Por lo tanto, también están bien los sentimientos que nos hacen sufrir.
Yeah, and I think it's important to distinguish between pain and suffering. What's that old Buddhist saying? Pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. So as long as you have this physical body, for example, physical pain is always going to come in some form. And emotions, feelings are always going to come. Feelings are very natural. Sadness, anger, fear. These are very natural movements of life. They're like waves in the ocean. They come, they stay for a while, and they pass. That's their nature. Sadness, anger, fear. They don't come to hurt you. They don't come to destroy you. They don't come because you've done something wrong. They don't come because there's something wrong with you. They don't come as a punishment. Like some religions teach that. Oh, you're feeling this because this is a punishment from God, or some, there's some New Age teachings that might say, well, this is these feelings are your fault because it's karma, or you didn't pray enough, or you didn't manifest in the right way, or blah 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 blah. And I think what we want to do first of all is just remove this sense of shame and blame. I think that's what so much of this book is about as well, is just removing the blame and the shame, and because in a way we're so hard on ourselves. Physical pain, sensation, or sadness, anger, fear, they're completely natural. They're always going to arise in your experience. What's unnecessary is when we start to think about our pain, and that's where so much extra suffering begins, and so much fear comes, and eventually so much self-hatred and depression. We start to think about our pain, we start to think about our sadness, we start to think about our fear. We start to resist. We don't want the pain, we don't want the sadness, we don't want the fear, or we start to think, this is wrong, this shouldn't be here, or there's something wrong with me, or this will never go away, this will always be here. We start to think about the future, we start to think about the past, we start to think about the future. And in so many ways we start to escape the pain, which actually makes the pain so much worse. That's the suffering, that's the part that is so unnecessary in a way. That's the part that we add with our minds, thinking about our pain, ruminating on our pain, obsessing over our pain, blaming our pain. So just in the book, in different ways, I try and dismantle that whole suffering mechanism, and just, if you can just have the courage actually to bring attention back to the pain itself, to come feel the sadness, feel the fear, feel the anger. What you may begin to find is actually these are not enemies. These are not enemies. They're also life. They're parts of us that just want to be felt, and they come, they stay for a while, they pass. And what we are actually is the space for all of that. Just like the sky. This is all weather. Coming, staying for a while, passing. It's about remembering our nature as the sky. So it's not our job to get rid of or control the weather. It's about remembering our nature as the sky, as awareness, as presence. Mm-hmm. So I think it's important to talk about just the difference between pain and suffering, which comes from thinking about our pain and resisting our pain and denying our pain and pushing our pain away and running away from our pain. Mm-hmm. So if we can just begin to end the escape. This book is an invitation to have the courage to stay with life, to not run away.
Otro tema importante que aparece en el libro es el tema de la pérdida. Incluso dices que las personas que hemos amado alguna vez nunca nos dejan. ¿Podrías explicar un poco este concepto?
Yeah, I mean, when someone dies, where do they go? And as I say in the book, all that really happens upon death is that we, in a sense, we fall back into presence. We return to presence. Everything that is false about us, our whole false identity, who we think we are, the history, the imagination, the fantasies, the suffering, the seeking, all of that upon death, the false me, the false sense of self, that which I am not, that's what collapses upon death, and we return to presence. Or that's not even, we don't even return to presence. We become what we always were. We don't even become it. We are presence. Death is pure presence. So in that sense, no one dies. What falls away, of course, is the physical. And that's, of course, when someone we love dies, we have to grieve, we have to mourn, we have to let go of a dream. It's really the loss of a dream of a future. So we have to let that dream die, and that can involve really allowing ourselves to feel sad or to feel angry, allowing all the feelings to move through, but knowing on a deeper level that who they truly are hasn't gone. Who they truly are never came, never went. Who they truly are, death hasn't changed. They are what they always were, which is presence, which is what you are. So that's just one way of saying that love doesn't die. In love, we don't lose each other. In love, no one dies. Of course, again, what disappears is the physical, and we have to allow ourselves to mourn the disappearance of the physical. But then we come to realize that's not who they truly were. Was the body, was the emotions, was the pain, was the suffering. That's not who they truly were. Who they truly were is who we truly are, which is presence, which is love. So in that sense, in love, no one ever dies. Everyone is always with us. We carry them in our hearts. We carry them in our memories. We carry them. In a sense, they die into us. They disappear into us. It becomes more intimate in a way. It can be a more intimate relationship because you're no longer separated by the physical. So death, I mean, the death of a loved one can really, it can be a great awakening actually. It can make you contact love more deeply than ever. Make you feel, and actually it can make you feel more alive than ever. You may feel more sadness than you've ever felt, but you also may feel more joy than you've ever felt. You can really be a great awakening. You can feel more alive than ever. And it can be a wonderful way to remember your own capacity as the sky. There's a place in you for the greatest joy and the greatest sorrow, and you can hold both. There is space in you for all of it, not just half of it, but all of it. So you allow your heart to break. You allow your heart to break. You say yes to even that.
Ok, pues muchas gracias por haber atendido esta entrevista.